Alexsender was a king of the ancient Greek kingdom of Macedon who lived from 356 BCE to 323 BCE. Alexander is famous for his military conquests, which included the defeat of the Persian Empire and the expansion of his empire across much of the ancient world. He is also known for his strategic and tactical genius, as well as his charisma and leadership qualities. Despite his relatively short life, Alexander is widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in world history. Certainly. Here are 9 interesting facts about Alexander the Great. Number 1. Alexander was tutored by the philosopher Aristotle. This education instilled in him a love of learning and a passion for philosophy and the arts. Alexander the Great was tutored by the famous philosopher Aristotle for several years during his youth. Aristotle was one of the most influential philosophers of the ancient world, and his teachings had a profound impact on Alexander's intellectual development. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander developed a love of learning and a passion for philosophy and the arts. He was exposed to a wide range of subjects, including mathematics, science, and literature. Alexander was also trained in rhetoric and public speaking, which helped him become a skilled orator and communicator. Aristotle's teachings helped shape Alexander's worldview and had a significant impact on his approach to leadership and governance. Alexander was known for his intellectual curiosity and his interest in exploring new ideas and cultures. His education with Aristotle played a significant role in shaping his character and his legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors and thinkers. Number 2. Alexander was only 20 years old when he became the king of Macedon after the assassination of his father, King Philip II. Alexander became the king of Macedon at the young age of 20, following the assassination of his father, King Philip II, in 336 BCE. Alexander's ascent to the throne was not without challenges, as there were those who opposed his rule and sought to undermine his authority. However, Alexander was able to overcome these challenges and establish himself as a capable and effective leader. He was known for his charisma and his ability to inspire loyalty and devotion among his followers. He also proved himself to be a skilled military commander, winning several early victories that solidified his position as king. Despite his youth and lack of experience, Alexander quickly established himself as one of the most formidable leaders of his time. His early successes laid the foundation for his later conquests and cemented his legacy as one of history's most influential figures. Number 3. Alexander's horse, Bucephalus, was a gift from his father. Legend has it that Alexander was the only one who could tame the wild stallion. Bucephalus was a horse that Alexander the Great rode in many of his military campaigns, and it was a gift from his father, King Philip II. According to legend, Bucephalus was a wild stallion that no one could tame. But when Alexander was just a young man, he saw the horse and recognized its potential. He was determined to ride the horse, and so he made a bet with his father that he could do so. Alexander noticed that the horse was afraid of its own shadow, so he turned it to face the sun, which caused it to calm down. He then mounted the horse and rode it with great skill and confidence, impressing his father and winning the bet. From that moment on, Bucephalus became Alexander's trusted companion, and the two were inseparable until the horse's death many years later. Bucephalus became a symbol of Alexander's bravery and skill as a rider, and it is said that he named a city after the horse in honor of its loyalty and courage. The story of Bucephalus and Alexander's ability to tame the wild stallion has become a well-known legend in history and continues to inspire people to this day. Number 4. Alexander's empire spanned 3 continents, including modern-day Greece, Egypt, Turkey, Iran, and parts of India and Pakistan. Alexander the Great's empire was one of the largest and most expansive in ancient history. At its peak, it spanned 3 continents, including parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa. The empire included many territories that were once part of the Persian Empire, such as modern-day Iran and parts of Central Asia. Alexander's conquests also extended to Egypt, where he founded the city of Alexandria, and to India, where he fought a series of battles against the Indian ruler Porus. Alexander's empire was a cultural melting pot, bringing together people from different regions and ethnicities. This diverse empire was unified under Alexander's leadership, which was characterized by his innovative military tactics, strategic vision, and his willingness to embrace new cultures and ideas. Despite its vast size and diversity, Alexander's empire did not last long after his death. His generals divided the empire among themselves, and it eventually fragmented into smaller kingdoms and states. Nevertheless, Alexander's legacy continued to inspire later conquerors and rulers, and his impact on world history remains significant to this day. Number 5. Alexander is said to have wept upon hearing that there were no more worlds left to conquer. According to the ancient biographer Plutarch, Alexander the Great wept when he reached the easternmost point of his conquests, as he realized that there were no more lands to conquer. Plutarch's account suggests that Alexander had a deep-seated desire for adventure and conquest, and that he was driven by a restless spirit that could not be satisfied. While some historians have disputed the accuracy of this story, it has become a famous anecdote that is often cited as an example of Alexander's ambition and thirst for conquest. It is worth noting, however, that Alexander's motivations for his conquests were complex and varied, and that his desire for exploration and expansion was just one part of his overall worldview. Alexander's legacy as a conqueror and adventurer continues to inspire people to this day, and his story remains a fascinating and enduring part of world history. Number 6. Alexander married several times throughout his life, including a marriage to Roxana, a Persian princess. Alexander the Great married several times throughout his life, forming alliances with the royal families of the regions he conquered. One of his most famous marriages was to Roxana, a Persian princess whom he met during his campaigns in Asia. According to historical accounts, Alexander was captivated by Roxana's beauty and intelligence, and he took her as his wife in 327 BCE. The marriage was seen as a strategic move, as it helped to cement Alexander's control over the territories he had conquered in Persia and Central Asia. Despite the political motivations behind their marriage, Alexander and Roxana are said to have had a strong emotional connection. They had a son together, who was also named Alexander and who was seen as the heir to the empire. However, Alexander the Great died before his son could inherit the throne, and Roxana and her son were later killed in a power struggle among Alexander's generals. The story of Alexander and Roxana's marriage has been immortalized in literature and art, and it continues to capture the imagination of people today. Their union was an example of the complex political and personal relationships that were forged during Alexander's conquests, and it remains a fascinating chapter in the history of ancient Greece and Persia. Number 7. Alexander is known for founding several cities, many of which still exist today, including Alexandria in Egypt. Alexander the Great is known for founding several cities throughout the course of his conquests, many of which were named after him. These cities were often strategically located and served as important centers of commerce, culture, and learning. One of the most famous cities founded by Alexander was Alexandria in Egypt, which he established in 331 BCE. The city was strategically located on the Mediterranean coast and quickly became a major center of trade and culture in the ancient world. It was also home to the famous Library of Alexandria, which was one of the largest and most prestigious libraries in the ancient world. In addition to Alexandria, Alexander also founded several other cities throughout his empire, including Alexandria Eskit, in modern-day Tajikistan, Alexandria Arachosia, in modern-day Afghanistan, and Alexandria Bucephalus, in modern-day Pakistan. These cities played an important role in spreading Greek culture and learning throughout the world, and their legacy can still be seen today in the many ancient ruins and artifacts that remain. Number 8. Alexander was known for his strategic and tactical genius, as well as his bravery on the battlefield. Alexander the Great was renowned for his military prowess and his strategic and tactical genius. He was a masterful commander who was able to inspire his troops and outmaneuver his enemies on the battlefield. Alexander's military campaigns were characterized by their speed, aggression, and boldness. He was not afraid to take risks, and he was known for his ability to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. He also had a keen sense of timing and was able to strike at his enemies at the most opportune moment. Alexander was also known for his personal bravery and his willingness to lead his troops from the front lines. He was often in the thick of the fighting, risking his own life to inspire his soldiers and rally them to victory. Despite his many military successes, Alexander was also known for his compassion and his respect for the cultures and traditions of the peoples he conquered. He often showed mercy to his defeated enemies and was known to incorporate local customs and traditions into his own practices. Overall, Alexander the Great remains one of history's most celebrated military leaders, and his legacy continues to inspire admiration and fascination among people today. Number 9. Alexander is believed to have died at the age of 32 under mysterious circumstances. Some historians speculate that he was poisoned, while others suggest he died of natural causes. Alexander the Great died under mysterious circumstances at the age of 32 in 323 BCE, just a few years after his conquests had ended. His death has been the subject of much speculation and debate among historians and scholars. The most commonly accepted theory is that Alexander died of natural causes, possibly due to a fever or infection. However, some historians have suggested that he may have been poisoned, either intentionally or accidentally, by one of his companions or courtiers. There are several accounts of Alexander's death, and many of them conflict with each other. According to one version of events, Alexander fell ill after a night of heavy drinking and died a few days later. Another account suggests that he was poisoned with a toxic herb, possibly by one of his trusted companions or officials. Despite the mystery surrounding his death, Alexander's legacy continues to inspire people to this day. His conquests and achievements had a profound impact on world history, and his story remains one of the most compelling and fascinating tales of adventure and conquest in human history.